Hey guys, how you doing? Good evening. Been an amazing week for us at the Growth Circle. It's been a wonderful time of learning on many things and we learning some certain things. Basically, the aspect of the mind. For a reason we are stretching on that. Why? Because the mind is the powerhouse of everything you want to do. Saying that whatever it is that you want to do begins from the mind. Why? The brain has an ability to store whatever runs in the mind as though it is physical. So that's a power right there that you can begin a project right within your mind and end the project in the mind. You can run it through from the ideation process to the delivery from the mind. So the kind of mind you sustain will determine the kind of experience you're going to have. So that's what I needed to understand. So this is why mindset is important. And what is a mindset? Mindset is basically the set of ideologies within the mind, the set of ideology within the mind. What are the beliefs system you also there to your heart? What are the things that lies within your heart about some particular things? What are your perspectives about life? How do you perceive this thing? When you see this, what does it look like to you? When you see this, what does it happen to you? This is very important because to every action, there is a mindset behind it. So everything you want to do, there is a mindset behind it. So it is very important, very important, and that's why we have a very important session to deal with this evening. And I need you to get as many people as possible to be on live this evening. Let's get them to be here. You don't want to hear this alone. You want to share with one person. I'm doing that also. Share with one person, share with people, tell them to get online. Get on board, get on board. It's going to be an amazing time. You don't want to miss this. Yes. Go ahead and share with one person, to share one person. That is going to be an amazing ride. Yes. Are you done doing that? I've shared mine. Okay. Share the good news. Let's make it viral. All right. So, yeah, let's get started. So good to have you this evening. So good to have you this night. And one thing is for sure is that tonight's session is one that you will also forget in your hurry. Why? Because we want to look at some nitty gritty, some basic things that has to do with how we get results. As an individual, there are perspective you have about life that will hinder what you want to do. So if you really want to get results, you want to look into those things. You want to consider the set of ideologies in your mind. And that's why all through last week and this week we're considering those things. And I made you to understand that mindset is very powerful. On its own, mindset is a tool for achieving whatever you want to achieve. Yeah. So let me just get into my note and The first mindset I want you to hold dear to your heart is that everybody's leading. Everybody's leading. There's no one that is not leading. At the basic level, you are leading your emotions, you are leading your habits, you are leading the things you're doing, you are leading. But at the ground level, at the general scale, you are leading by influence. One person is looking at you, at least at that place of study, place of work, those that do business with you, they are observing you, and these people are watching you. So this is not 2026 is not a season where you say, I'm just for myself. No, it's not so. This is not a season where you say, I'm just a very calm person. I'm always inside. No, no, no. That's why you must understand that you must pay key attention to how you perceive things. Because leadership begins from how you think. Leadership begins from how you think. How you think about life, how you think about people. Because your perspective about people is what determines how you treat people. Every one of us desire the outcome of leadership, but are you ready to have the right ideology, right perspective about leadership? That's why at Growth Circle, we are not just raising informed people or successful people, so to speak. We are raising those who are responsible, aware, emotionally intelligent people, those who are disciplined with their time, with their resources, solution-oriented people. This set of people are the kinds of people that the world needs. In 2026, you must understand that all your actions and inactions have repercussion. There is repercussion to every step you take. I put up a post on my status this morning, and I said some things about the political atmosphere of Nigeria. And this is one thing you must understand. Your silence is not silence, actually. Oftentimes, silence means consent. Silence means consent. And I have to learn my voice because we are in a season where many people live their life as though nothing is happening in some other part of the country. It used to be in the north, so those in the southeast, south, and southwest felt they were convenient, no issues. They moved to Middle Belt, so it's still part of the north. Now it happened in Kwara State. Everybody got confused. Is this still Middle Belt or what? The last we heard was in a part of South. Who knows how close they are to South? Who knows how close they are to Southeast? The insecurity level has gotten to the point where it is becoming a normal thing, and everybody begin to live their life conveniently. This is not the way of a leader. It's not the way of a leader. As a leader, by now you know that when we speak of leadership, we're not talking about roles, we're talking about individuals who have accepted responsibility and knows that they have impact, they have things to do. We were made for impact and we must deliver the impact. So when you understand that, you're a leader is someone who has influence, who is using their influence for a good cause. That's a leader. You must, when you understand this, you will know that there is responsibility laid on my WhatsApp status, that's why for those who have close proximity with me, I often find that when I see you, I understand sometimes you just want to post something, you just tell people to laugh. But if you are the kind that consistently, at least daily, we find you post memes, post comedies, oh my God, you're not serious about life. Because when you understand that your platform, is a tool for communication of what you believe in. You will take it seriously. I said that as a country, Nigeria can happen to you to the extent that you become numb about life to others. You don't really care about what others are experiencing. And that is not the way of a leader. I told you last week, I think the last session we had, that a leader thinks austerity. A leader thinks about the future. A leader thinks about what will happen to others. That's a leader. So you are leading. That's the first mindset I want you to have. I am leading. The way you handle your emotion, the way you handle your mind, the way you handle your attitude, your environment, the things you do, the business you get involved in, even those who are still students, academics, the way you coordinate those things, that's leadership. Because one sooner or later, someone will observe it and learn a thing from it. That's leadership. You're leading. And if you say you're not leading, it's either those things are leading you. Yeah. Because whatever makes you that you are living life, you are not leading intentionally, something else is leading you. Yeah. So a student who can manage his time effectively is already demonstrating leadership. Leadership. An entrepreneur who can remain stable under pressure and still deliver appropriately is demonstrating leadership. A young professional who can solve problems responsibly is already demonstrating leadership. So this is what you must understand. The leadership is first visible in self-management before public influence. You need to write that down. Leadership is first visible in self-management before public influence. You must be able to control your emotions, control your thoughts, control your time, determine the thing you need to do, stay focused. It is very, very important. It is very, very important. This is what will make you have some level of values. I talked about values the last time. That set you apart. A funny guy who went to contest for, I don't even want to talk about that thing, was speaking with this guy. And then they were saying some certain things, and it has become issues since. And a lot of people are talking about it online. The first time I saw the video, I was like, oh my God, what's this? I didn't even know it will later become issues. I saw it yesterday evening. I was like, what's this? What's this? And I started hearing people talking about it and all that. The truth of the matter is, if you see that kind of video, it is your value that will help you in sorting out what is and what is right in the video. If you don't have value, you don't have core values, you cannot identify those issues. And that's the problem we have. That you cannot look at a leader and say that, okay, this politician cannot deliver us to where we are going because of this, he lost this, he didn't do this well, he didn't manage this well. The way he spoke here shows there's some hidden things here. That's somebody that has value. That will lead me to the next thing I want to say. The major leadership crisis we're having currently is internal. Internal. You see, honestly speaking, many people are not failing because they lack diligence or they lack opportunities. Many of them are failing because they do not have the internal coordination. They are collapsing internally. They are not stable emotionally. They are easily distracted. They lose focus easily. They can't stay on one thing till it works. They can't. Inconsistency. You see, if you really want to be a leader that is formidable and sound in whatever field you want to be, you must learn the way of focus. I've said that before, I'm saying it again several times on this, but I've said it. Boredom is not bad. That's one of the lies they've sold to this generation. Boredom is a blessing. Boredom is good. It's a peaceful state that allows you to give expression to your creativity. And honestly speaking, this generation is currently experiencing and will experience much more crisis than the former generation. Anxiety is at the serious level. Many people are addicted digitally. I was speaking to someone yesterday, and then I was just talking. I said, "Can you do without your phone for 30 minutes?" I said, "Yes, now." I said, "What will you do?" I said, "No, without your phone for 30 solid minutes, without doing anything, just sitting down 30 minutes all by yourself." And the next person said, "How? What will I be doing?" Because the reality does not exist. You see people just split seconds of 30, no, I'm going to say 5 minutes of break to do something, they pick their phone. I was at a conference recently and the speaker was speaking and I was learning. I just looked to my side, both sides, and I said, "This young ones there, just pressing phone." I'm like, what have you come here to do? We're a generation who are socially distant, but they are digitally connected. Take realities. And the last thing that I would say about this internal crisis leaders is lack of structure. Lack of structure. Let me show you something. I just have to add that to it. The issue I raised about the social connectivity digitally or distant physically. I'll show you some certain statistics now. Research over the past few years has shown us that there is a main concern rising with this generation with the excessive use of smartphones, social media. And the painful part is both adult and teenagers. Let me give an example. There was a research made in Harvard, public health research, reported that in 2024, more than 75% of teenagers check their phone hourly, and nearly 50% said they were addicted to their devices. 75% of teenagers cannot do without their phone hourly. Yeah. And about 50% of them are addicted. Another research in 2024 published in the let me check it out. International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health found out that strong association between excessive use of smartphones, anxiety, stress, depression symptoms, and reduced self-esteem in young adults. What does he say? He said that they were able to trace anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, depression symptoms to the excessive use of smartphone as at 2024. Another 2024 study found that the just 14-day break, taking just 14 days break from social media significantly improved the mental well-being, anxiety levels, and attention span of young ones. Painful thing is, these figures, this data does not make sense to you. That's where the problem is. The conference I attended uh, a woman spoke there and said that she did a BSc, I think in 1984 or so. She said that then there was no computer. I was so much interested in that statement, meaning that they have to read hard copies to succeed. That's one. Two is that they have to source for more resources manually. And if you hear this woman, she spoke excellently well. You can tell that she's well read. You can tell. But the painful part is we have a generation who have access to all knowledge possible at the tip of their finger, yet we have more casualties. Let me break this up. So let's think about this carefully. Sorry, please. If your attention is constantly fragmented, your thinking becomes fragmented. You get that? If your attention becomes fragmented, your thinking becomes fragmented. The painful part is if your thinking becomes fragmented, your leadership becomes unstable. Yeah, you have to write that down. If your attention becomes fragmented, your thinking becomes fragmented. If your thinking becomes fragmented, your leadership becomes unstable. So a distracted mind struggles to lead. That's it. A distracted mind cannot lead a meaningful life. It's not possible. It's not possible. If you really want to lead, uh, you will have to get to that point that you so let's look at the effect of distraction on it's not in news from the data I read to you now. We are living in a distracted generation. As a matter of fact, we are living the most distracted generation in history. This is there has never been any time that a generation is more distracted than this. I told you of the woman that said she did a BSc 30 decades ago. They are not bothered about many things. Okay, someone that is physically impaired has a benefit that you don't have. Is focus. The person is not distracted by anything they can see. So their focus is narrowed down to what they can hear. This is why you must understand that as a leader, this is the best time to invest heavily in knowledge and narrowed mindset. This is the time that you want to avoid unnecessary distraction. So, as a leader, you will do yourself great harm if you are also distracted. Because those who you are expected to lead are distracted. You that you expect to lead them are also distracted. So, there's another study that showed that smartphone is one of the leading cause of anxiety in some countries. You see people who go as far as selling themselves, getting some things to ensure that I get a kind of food. Unnecessary pressure. So the problem is not basically addiction. There's a deeper problem, and it is the fact that people they are losing ability to think deeply. They are losing ability to think deeply. So that's the challenge. It's not just that you are distracted or you are addicted. It's the fact that these people now loses ability to think deeply. There is, with the level of information we have in this generation, we should have more people inventing things, innovating. But this is the generation that you have less compared to what they had there. If you put the level of knowledge they have there with the result they have, and the level of knowledge we have now to the result we have, you discover that we have a large gap, a wide gap. So let me say this and let me say this. Great leaders are not merely informed people, they are focused people. So what makes a person truly a leader, or let me say, what makes the person influential is not it's not just about what they know. It's about what exactly is the solution that their knowledge is bringing. So, a leadership PQ is not measured by charisma. It is measured basically by emotional intelligence, emotional maturity, consistency, responsibility, clarity, discipline, empathy. And these things are built by focused mind. That's why you want to work on your mind to the point that you get to that point that you are stable. To get to that point of stability, you need to craft out time for yourself where you are focused in your thinking. Because the quality of your thinking affects the quality of your leadership. The way you think is the way you lead. The way you think is a product of the things that enters you. I told you earlier that mindset is a set of ideologies in your mind, right? And I'm showing you now that the problem with our mindset is the number and the level of noise that flows into the mind. To get out of this is what I need to advise. Because you must understand that real leadership appears like pressure to many people. It's not so. A person may speak confidently, but lack leadership capacity. Yeah. So true leadership capacity is what we need in this generation. So, how do we develop a healthier leadership capacity? Like I showed you last week, the four types of leadership: positional, transactional, all of this kind of leadership. There are oh good. There are things that you believe that brings you into those leadership states. Not like you wanted to, but you just find yourself there because of what you believe. So, how do you develop a healthier leadership mindset? How do you develop a healthier leadership mindset? Number one, develop self-awareness. And I will say something that's so self-awareness. Listen, you must observe yourself honestly, which will help you to heal up, help you to train up, and help you to skill up. That's what I'm saying. You must know what triggers you. You must know what weakens your discipline. You must know what distracts you. And you must know the things you have that makes you you. This is what you develop. You must get to that point that you know yourself. Develop that self-awareness. Self-awareness is not that no, self-awareness is coming to realize who you are, where you are, what it will take for you to get to where you ought to be. So the second thing that helps you develop healthier leadership mindset is protect your attention. Listen, the most expensive commodity now is not the gold or anything. At this time, is attention. Attention is very, very expensive, and you must be careful what you are paying your attention to get. Attention is not an economic weapon. Attention? No. You must reduce unnecessary scrolling. Create phones free zone. My phone does not get into my room. And there's a time I will tell you. On days that I don't have meeting, from 8:30 to 9, my phone is already getting to the point where I'm dropping it. And I'm getting into deep work. Except for days where I have to sit back in my space to work, stays in the sitting room while I go inside to have a rest time for myself, get some things done. If I need to write, I'll write out. You must have that principle of having phone-free space. Also, phone-free thinking period. Phone-free thinking period. Time where you drop your phone and you just sit down to think. You need to work on it. Have it. Just sit for yourself. And I always advise people 1 hour at least. When you wake up, 1 hour, don't press your phone, regardless of anything you want to do. When you wake up and the first thing you pick is your phone, there's a challenge. 1 hour, when you wake up, avoid your phone. 1 hour into the bed, avoid your phone. This is a way you can quarantine yourself. And if possible, you can work on a 12 hours without phone time and see what will happen. Get another copy book, read, get a journal, write. You will see how it will be hard for you to achieve it. Then you can get better over time. Do you get that? So, last thing to do under protecting your attention is that you must control your notifications. Unless you are using phone of 2015, 2016, 2027. But any phone from 2020 upward have at least 3 features. Number one, reading mode or reader mode, whatever your phone calls it. Reader mode. There's a reader mode. That's a time where your phone screen comes down, and from some phones switch off notification. There is do not disturb. You can put it in 1 hour, 2 hours. You can use that. Also, that feature is there. And the ultimate of it for me is ultra power saving mode, where you move from the normal place to where you have just 6 to 8 apps alone that is functioning and notification minimized. There are some apps that you have to go and mute the notification. And I've said this before, I'm saying it again. Go and watch the interview on Netflix, Social Dilemma. You will see how they pre-thought, planned, and executed your own destiny into social media. They had to arrange it that when this happen, this should happen. When this happen, this should happen. And you discover that every notification is well planned for you to be locked in on their website, locked in on their app, locked in on their tools. You have to control your notification. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, mute it. Mute it. Nothing will happen, mute it. So, things to do to build a healthier leadership mindset. Number 3, build internal stability. Build internal stability. When you have done the first 2, get to this one now, you have to develop emotional intelligence. Read this book, Emotional. Is it Emotional Intelligence? Good. Let me check that inside that library, that blue spot. The book is there, Emotional Intelligence. I think by Daniel Coleman. It should be. You want to develop emotional intelligence? Yeah, that's it. That's the book. You want to work on your routine also. Work on your discipline. Thank you. This is the book. Yeah. Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Coleman. This is it. If you can get the hard copy, get it. If you can't, get the soft copy. Read it. It is very, very needed. It's a bulky book, not really much. I think it's about 300 pages. Yeah. Get it. You also want to work on the way you think, relative thinking. The book will help you also. I've given you a book on self-discipline earlier. Yeah. On routine, get a book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Atomic Habits by James Clear is very powerful to build a routine. Well, that's why you understand that you don't get out of habits. You replace habits with habits. And you don't have to make a drastic change. You have to make bit by bit change to become better. That's the way it is. Number four, things to do to build a healthier leadership mindset. Learn continuously. Listen, learning changes your life. You want to get more money, you want to have a different life, you want to have a better life, you want to have a change in character, knowledge. Knowledge is the key to advance in life. I can't say more than that. I'm just saying that leadership requires intellectual growth. You want to increase in learning. The Holy Book says a wise man increases in learning. So you must read books, observe, think deeply. That's why this generation has a lot to pay, because a generation who cannot be focused cannot think deeply. That's the problem. So the fifth thing to do, which is the last thing I would say about building a leadership mindset, is become a solution-oriented person. A solution-oriented person. What am I saying about that? I'm saying that you must be the kind of person who don't just identify problem, you prefer solution, develop responses, get solutions to it. After your research, get solution, present solution. So let me tie this back. Momentum is not created by motivation. Motivation will help, but it won't create momentum. Momentum is created when you have a right mindset, discipline, clarity, systems, consistency. When all these things start working together, that's when momentum. So if you really want to build momentum, you must have the right mindset, a disciplined culture, clarity in thinking, systems to guide your actions, and consistency in delivery. That's how to build momentum. So you must have the right mindset, back it up with systems that helps you to grow continuously, consistently, then you're on your path to momentum. Listen, your future is hidden inside your daily patterns. I've said that again and again. Your 5 years from now is a product of what you use of 5 minutes. Your 10 years from now is a product of what your 1 hour looks like now. That's it. So as I conclude tonight, I need you to understand this carefully. A leadership is not about becoming important figure, becoming a public figure. It's not about being the known one. It's about taking responsibility. It's about becoming responsible. Your world already has enough noise. There are a whole lot of people out there making noise, but the world is in need of those that are making impact. What we need now are those who are grounded in thinking, grounded thinkers, discipline builders, emotionally healthy leaders. These are people we need. These are people that the world needs. Those who can make impact, those who can function clearly, think clearly under pressure, those who can grow others, those who can groom others, those who can create solutions. Those are the people we are looking at. Honestly, the journey starts internally. If you can't control yourself internally, you cannot deliver publicly. So leadership is not title, it's not about visibility. Leadership is all about mindset. If you have the right mindset, void of noise, focused mind, discipline in character, consistent in actions, you are ready for the world impact. You are ready for what the world needs. And let me say this, the quality of your life will be heavily influenced by the quality of your mindset today. The quality of your life tomorrow will be heavily dependent on the quality of your mindset today. What are you thinking about? What are the perspectives? What are your ideology? So you must protect your mind. You must protect your thinking. Train the way you think. Constantly avoid unnecessary distraction. Strengthen your discipline. These are the things you need truly to go. And listen, because leadership begins long before you get into position, leadership begins long before you get noticed. That's why you must set your mindset rightly. And I'm super glad that you are here this evening. And I know for sure that what you have heard, you're going to use it, you're going to take right actions to ensure that your mindset is in place to the end that your life is set rightly. I know for sure that it's not going to be a waste. I know for sure that you're going to deliver appropriately what exactly it is expected of you. You are made for impact, you are set for impact, and you are being set to impact. Please set your mind rightly. Don't forget, at this age 2026, the highest economic weapon is attention. That's it. It is expensive. You don't want to waste it on things that does not matter. What are you paying your attention for? You must pay serious attention to knowledge, deep thinking, and avoiding things that does not matter. It's been a wonderful time. I'm so glad again to have you, and I would like you to do well to like, subscribe, and on notification bell, because I'm going to be reading some certain videos in different directions to the end of your growth. So if you care about growth, you care about the faith, Christian faith, you care about what the future will look like, get up, get closer, get closer. Here we talk about faith, growth, and future. When you see the name Vessel Israel A, it's all about faith, growth, and future. It's going to be an amazing ride. Like, subscribe, on notification bell, and this video share with many others so that many people can get on board. It's an amazing time with you. I'll be glad to see you yet again next week Friday, where we have another amazing topic we'll consider. It's been wonderful time with you at the Growth Deal. Wow.